Here we are ready to pull up the tile so that we can get that reverse osmosis line plumbed back to the spigot. That's where the refrigerator is going to live. The reverse osmosis lives under the kitchen sink in the island, and the fridge is right on the wall, so we don't have RO water over there. I originally plumbed it with just straight supply from the cold water supply. Multiple times I should have made the determination to stop forward progress so that I could get this line installed, but I just didn't. And if you know anything about Arizona water, it really tastes bad. So RO is the best way to go if you can do it. So the thin set here is the hardest thing to pull up. It takes a lot of effort, a lot of physical exertion. Try to chisel. I'm trying a multi-tool now with one blade, and I'm going to come in with another blade here. It's just nothing makes this easy. And here I'm taking a break. If you haven't noticed, I'm a really big guy, and this is like doing push-ups the whole time. So it's really strenuous to get this done. Here I realize that knocking these pieces out with a chisel, there's a good chance I'm going to hit a piece of thin set that ends up flying through one of my windows, so I wanted to get some kind of protection up there. Yet another tool using the back of the sledgehammer. That's a 4-pound sledgehammer, which isn't technically all that heavy, but when you're swinging it 20-30 times a minute, it's a lot. Cleaning up as you go, just to make sure you stay on top of the mess. And then it occurred to me, I don't necessarily have to use these manual implements. I don't have to use a chisel or the multi-tool. I've actually done this before in my garage. My garage is tiled, and in order to get the epoxy off of the floor prior to laying down tile and thin set, I had to use this blade to try and pull up some of that, some of the epoxy in the garage. So I totally forgot that I'd had this blade. Anyway, we'll get this rolling, and the job took probably 15 minutes after I remembered that I had this blade. The dust extraction here was not very effective. And it's no fault of the shop vac that I'm using. It's just there's just no way to contain most of the dust that's coming up from this. But it's not even close to the amount of dust that's going to get created as I start cutting the channel out of the slab here. You can kind of see the concrete dust billowing up there. I'm not kidding. It filled my entire space of about 800 square feet with a heavy amount of this dust. And of course, I didn't pay attention, so I'm not wearing any respirator or any mask here, so I'm an idiot. So we've got like an extended shot here of just the doors being wide open. It's got to be 95, 100 degrees here in Phoenix, but it doesn't matter. There's so much in here. Using the leaf blower to hopefully push most of it outside and just let it sit for a little while. Now it's time to start cutting out the drywall and try to make myself some nice parallel lines here. So I'm going to have to come back in behind and replace this with new drywall. Had a hard time on that far side over there, judging where the 1.5 inch deep stud was. I couldn't figure out where it was, and for whatever reason, my multi-tool just went right through it. Here I am drilling holes into the studs that are back there. And then this last step over here for the structure was just carving out a niche in the base plate. Here's a little 90-degree elbow that I used to keep the reverse osmosis line from kinking, as I needed to bend it 90 degrees, one bend quickly after another. So it's a handy little implement to keep it from kinking as you need to bend it. So I've got the line fished through the 2x4s. Now I'm going to cut out the area where those two connections are. Again, like I mentioned, I supplied the water spigot behind the refrigerator with the cold water supply from the original sink, which was right on this back wall underneath the window. And since I did that, I pressurized the system, and now I need to cut the system. So I've gone out to the street to shut off the water, and here I am applying the fittings. And the fittings are all set to go. Invited a neighbor over so he could keep an eye on the connection, so that when I turned the water on, if something was going to pop off and start leaking, that would have been the place to do it. Lastly, I used an air chisel there, and I'd never used one before, and it cut out the last remaining portions of the concrete so that I could get these 90-degree elbows in there. And here I am just fitting the RO hose down inside the crevice that I created, the channel that I created. This is trash tile that was left by the installers, and I'm just picking out pieces of it and cutting it to size, making sure I've got enough.